Here we go. Ready? One. that. I saw that. I'm like, oh, I didn't hear me at all.
I went to D, but
Let me just check with these guys.
you thought I was just so
Water time.
That was pretty good.
I knew at some point I was like, okay, we'll play
but they're in the sun.
I mean, I could just sit on the turf.
Well, you guys can shift it up to these gaps too. I mean, you already have chairs.
Yeah, but I can't lean back.
Shortest tune. Yeah. Shortest tune. Yeah.
They're actually coming this way, so maybe
Okay.
right? Who do I talk to back earlier? That's okay, I don't mind leaving for that.
What's the shortest tune we could do?
I thought you were down that way. I thought you were earlier. Probably be.
Oh, they didn't put a Diet Coke by mine.
I know.
Yeah, what's that
I
about?
only had this.
That's because of age.
Oh, I see.
You're this old, you know, they have to give you whatever you want. Actually, I put it in my pocket at home.
Nice. Took care of yourself.
That's right.
We're great.
Thank you. I forget. Hello, welcome, graduates, friends and family members, faculty, staff, and honored guests. We are so pleased to have you here for the 2021 Lindquist College of Arts and Humanities Convocation Ceremony. I've been told that the College of Arts and Humanities has the most fun graduations, and I want to thank our Steel Band and Sam Bryson, their director, for making that true already. I'd also like to recognize and thank our guests for being with us today. On the stage, we have Weber State University President Brad Mortensen, Brady Distinguished Professor Dr. Michael Voss, Weber State University Honorary Degree recipient Tau Papua, Weber State University Board of Trustee member Carla Bergeson, Weber State University Student Association President Benjamin Fernie, and linguist, College of Arts and Humanities, outstanding graduate, Sherilyn Furman. All right. We'd also like to recognize and thank our esteemed College of Arts and Humanities retirees, Dr. Susan Hafen in the Department of Communication, Dr. Timothy Conrad in the Department of English, Administrative Specialist Kim Webb, Department of English, Instructor Gail Ingve, Department of English, Dr. James Young, Department of English, Dr. Naseem Banerjee, Department of Visual Art and Design, and finally, Professor Larry Clarkson, Department of Visual Art and Design. I'd now like to recognize Brady Distinguished Professor, Dr. Michael Voss. The Brady Distinguished Professor Award is one of the highest honors to be bestowed at Weber State, and we are delighted that this year's committee selected Dr. Michael Voss as one of its recipients. Dr. Voss began teaching at Weber State in 1982 and is known as a poet, scholar, environmentalist, adventurer, mentor, and friend. His students and colleagues call him Master of the Mountain and the Classroom. He began organizing a writers' conference in 1985, and it quickly became a signature Weber event. Each year, the National Undergraduate Literature Conference attracts hundreds of student writers and brings some of the world's most important literary figures to Weber. Dr. Voss is the author of 10 collections of poems. He has climbed and lectured and participated in scholarly conferences around the world, and he climbs ever higher here at Weber State. Please join me in a round of applause for the Brady Distinguished Professor, Dr. Michael Voss.
Quintessential storyteller Michael Voss is a master of the mountain and classroom, inspiring decades of English students.
My dad encouraged all sorts of stuff. I mean, he had me boxing when I was little. I rode horses. He would take me up the canyon when Dean Perkins and some of the really early Ogden climbers were up there, and we'd sit in the car or sit on the hood of the car and watch them climb routes in Ogden Canyon.
Graduating with a PhD in British literature, Dr. Voss came to Weber State in 1982, where he organized the National Undergraduate Literature Conference, attracting hundreds of student writers and renowned literary figures.
The great thing is we brought to Ogden literally the best writers in the world that have interacted with Weber State students and with the students at the Literature Conference. And
Dr. Voss established the Dead Poets Tour study abroad trip to Britain, and as honors program director, organized a service expedition to Nepal.
We'd go stay where Wordsworth stayed and walk where Wordsworth walked, and Coleridge and all the others, and it's pretty neat to put a hands-on sort of addition to your education. It just kind of makes the literature come more alive.
A recipient of the Boardman-Tasker Mountain Literature Award, Dr. Voss is a well-regarded poet authoring 10 books of poems.
Because of my background in mountaineering literature, I've got to know some of the greatest climbers in history. One of the highlights of my career, I think, was when I was chosen to be chair of the Boardman-Tasker Mountain Literature Awards, and the only non-Brit that's ever done it.
Dr. Voss has received numerous awards, including the Crystal Crest Master Teacher, Lowe Innovative Teaching, and H. Aldous Dixon Awards.
When you're teaching a class and you see the light pop on students' eyes, there's nothing more rewarding than that.
An adventurer himself, Dr. Voss is a well-known expert on mountaineering literature, presenting at conferences worldwide. He was a member of the 2011 Everest expedition in search of the body of early British climber Andrew Irvine.
I just think it's important that you live in a community where you work, that you give back to that community as well as to your workplace. I can't emphasize enough how important having a supportive family is. That's really the key. I grew up basically as an only child and a very cautious mother, and my father was dead. And so it's meant a lot to me to have that.
Weber State University is pleased to honor Dr. Michael Voss as a Brady Presidential Distinguished Professor.
I would now like to invite Sherilyn Furman to the podium. This year's Lindquist College of Arts and Humanities outstanding graduate is Sherilyn Furman. Sherilyn had previously earned a Bachelor of Science in Psychology with English and German minors, and today completes her Master's of Arts in English. She's an adoption advocate, published author, wife, and mother. Sherilyn, it is my great pleasure to present you with this award and congratulate you.
Thank you, Dean Heumann. And hello, fellow graduates, class of 2021. When I was a young girl growing up here in Ogden, Utah, the world came to me. Every 2 weeks each summer, the bookmobile lumbered into the church parking lot across the street from my house. With its musty smell and rickety wheels, this portable library with friendly librarians offered depictions of life outside my own, and I took home books and absorbed worlds. Years later, not 2 miles from that church parking lot, I found myself working toward an undergraduate degree at Weber State University. Once again, I didn't have far to go in order to broaden my limited views. During those years, a women's studies course exposed me to feminism. A paranormal psychology class invited me to analyze what my mind conjured up in my dreams. And a lecture series awakened the biases I had long taken for granted. Every lesson I learned, I applied to a career in employment services in an office only 2 miles from this campus. I became a working feminist, a working psychologist, and a working diversity analyst. Assisting others in finding employment and accessing supportive services instilled in me a desire to advocate more and differently. I wanted to impact others through words, like those in the books I checked out from the bookmobile every summer all those years ago. I aspired to shock like Edgar Allan Poe with his beating heart taunting the guilty, and inspire like Maya Angelou, who survived rape and racism to learn why the caged bird sings. And so I tried. I found some success in publishing my work, but I knew I could be better. As I worked full-time and raised 4 children, I returned to Weber State's campus, this time to specialize in creative writing through the Master of Arts English program. Through my studies, the world would become smaller. Throughout the pandemic of the last year, I attended classes on my 13-inch MacBook screen from conference rooms, the couch, and my backyard. Some of you joined from break rooms or cars on your phones. No matter how small our circle, for those of us privileged with education, The world supplies knowledge ready for us to partake of it. Despite the pandemic, opportunities came to me at Weber State University. Here, I have interacted with professors who reached beyond their job descriptions, including me on a bike ride and dinners during a conference in Spokane, and inviting me to interview a Pulitzer Prize-winning poet. I engaged in discussions with my classmates about anything from Chinese historical fiction to our connections with trees. And these discussions both challenged and shaped my beliefs. During a poetry forms and craft class, I asked visiting poet, author, and journalist Christina Garcia a question, and she answered, "Are you a poet?" "You're a poet, aren't you?" I stammered something back, and she interrupted, "I just outed you as a poet." And she was right. I am. In addition to my essays, I began crafting and publishing poems, reading mine anywhere from the fireplace lounge in the Student Union building to open mic night at the Lighthouse Lounge in downtown Ogden. Eventually, through financial support from Weber State's graduate and undergraduate programs and a connection to Dr. Russell Stevenson, then a Michigan State University PhD research student in Nigeria, I traveled much farther than 2 miles, more than 7,000 in fact, to Nigeria, where I toured several cities and visited 3 university campuses. At a language and literature conference at the University of Port Harcourt, I presented my paper on identity politics in African poetry to an audience of more than 200 Nigerian students, faculty, and government officials. Sometimes I still can't believe that all of this became my world. As students of the arts and humanities, we explore the world, whether through the mathematics of a poem's symmetry, the science of light in a photograph, or the historical significance of a political speech. We engage with a myriad of disciplines. Intersections and connections drive us, allowing us to be eclectic, expansive, and innovative. For instance, the role of quantum physics in Ruth Ozeki's novel, A Tale for the Time Being, captivated me. Protagonist Now writes, "There are other words and other worlds, dear mother. You have taught me that." I consider it a gift to have taken in words and worlds throughout my formal education at Weber State University. I have told you how I have brought the world to me and myself to the world. Each of us has sacrificed something to achieve what we have today. Each of us adapted our lives in pursuit of this thing we call education. Family members took on additional duties while we studied, or consoled us while we cried at the computer. I want to especially thank my kids and bonus kids, Sydney and Parker, Tyler and Mariama, Katie and Levi, whose worlds I'm lucky enough to inhabit. Today, we honor those who comprise our support systems with our achievements. Some of the most admirable among our class earned their degrees with English as their second language. Others of you did this without any meaningful support, and for that, you have my acknowledgement. Most of us have lost something or someone in the process. Many of us have experienced trauma. And yet, we persevered through a vibrant mix of sheer grit, our professors, friends, and family members, and even our personal and academic failures, and maybe a little dumb luck, too. To study people and languages, art and literature is to bring the world to us. To apply our studies is to contribute what we have learned. To take the world into our communities, no matter the size. Through our education, some of us will share a part of the world with our own children, sparking ideas otherwise unknown to them. With our specific skill sets, others of us will teach both children and adults in creative and innovative ways. Some of us will move an audience with our performance. Others will impact policies or procedures from national to global in scale. I stand here to tell you that the arts and humanities matter. H-E-D-E-M-E. As the Igbo proverb suggests, no one knows what tomorrow will bring. But we graduates know something. We're not truly done. Whether we travel 2 miles from home or more than 7,000, we are now more prepared for future pathways. We might consider poet Joy Harjo's lines from her A Map to the Next World, our challenge. She writes, "Crucial to finding the way is this: there is no beginning or end. You must make your own map." May our continued curiosity bring the world to us and take us all around the world. Congratulations, Lindquist College of Arts and Humanities, class of 2021.
Hello and welcome one more time. I think I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Deborah Human, and I'm the Dean of the College of Arts and Humanities. And I am thrilled to be here with you in person as we celebrate the incredible accomplishments of our graduates. The title of the video we just saw sums things up perfectly. What a year it's been. Few among us could have imagined the events of the last 14 months. Who could have predicted that you would spend your final year of college or graduate school learning on Zoom, streaming performances, and accumulating a collection of masks that you can coordinate with your daily wardrobe? You may have expected college to be hard, but not this hard. And yet here you are. The word congratulations feels inadequate to recognize the dedication, flexibility, and perseverance that you have all demonstrated to make it to this day. But I offer it nonetheless. Congratulations. It feels like a lifetime ago, March of 2020, when I stood in front of my students the day before we were required to leave campus. We were all scared and had no idea how the next weeks of the semester would unfold, let alone how the pandemic would transform our lives. I remember telling my students of my hopes that this rapidly spreading virus would bring out the best in us, that we would work together to keep each other healthy and support each other through uncertain times. Despite a year of divisive rhetoric and deeply troubling events at home and around the world, I still believe that most of us did what we could to protect not just ourselves and our loved ones, but our communities near and far. We washed our hands and scrubbed our decks. We wore our masks and maintained our distance. We brought people groceries and applauded healthcare workers. And we innovated. We found ways to connect despite the need for physical separation. You, as students of the arts and humanities, brought your creativity, your passion, and your curiosity to the challenges we all faced. In my short 4 months here at Weber, I have watched your performances, viewed your artwork, listened to your speeches, and heard about your research. We still have difficult days ahead, but it is not just the protection of our vaccines that give me hope. Your intelligence, your curiosity, and your compassion give me hope for a future that will look different from how we all expected, but that still offers us great promise and possibility. In my remarks in your program, I quoted from this year's stunning inaugural poem by Amanda Gorman. Inaugural poems are often appropriate for commencements, which also acknowledge the past while looking towards the future, and they are full of hope. So I will close my remarks here with another inaugural poem, this time by Elizabeth Alexander, whose praise song for the day speaks of ordinary struggles and the extraordinary power of love. I think you will find her lines surprisingly relevant, and I hope she won't mind that I changed her reference to the winter of inauguration to the spring of graduation. Each day we go about our business, walking past each other, catching each other's eyes or not, about to speak or speaking. All about us is noise. All about us is noise and bramble, thorn and din, each one of our ancestors on our tongues. Someone is stitching up a hem, darning a hole in a uniform, patching a tire, repairing the things in need of repair. Someone is trying to make music somewhere with a pair of wooden spoons on an oil drum, with cello, boombox, harmonica, voice. A woman and her son wait for the bus. A farmer considers the changing sky. A teacher says, "Take out your pencils, begin." We encounter each other in words, words spiny or smooth, whispered or declaimed, words to consider, reconsider. We cross dirt roads and highways that mark the will of someone and then others who said, "I need to see what's on the other side. I know there's something better down the road. We need to find a place where we are safe. We walk into that which we cannot yet see. Say it plain, that many have died for this day. Sing the names of the dead who brought us here, who laid the train tracks, raised the bridges, picked the cotton and the lettuce, built brick by brick the glittering edifices they would then keep clean and work inside of. Praise song for struggle, praise song for the day, praise song for every hand-lettered sign, the figuring it out at kitchen tables. Some live by love thy neighbor as thyself, Others by first do no harm or take no more than you need. What if the mightiest word is love? Love beyond marital, filial, national. Love that casts a widening pool of light. Love with no need to preempt grievance. In today's sharp sparkle, this spring air, anything can be made, any sentence begun, on the brink, on the brim, on the cusp. Praise song for walking forward in that light. I wish you all, in the ordinary and extraordinary moments of your lives, joy as you continue your journeys. Congratulations. Okay, this is the real stuff. It's time for us to call out your names. I am asked to remind you that you should exit on the outside of your robes. Bring paper with your name. These are on your seats. And return to your seats from the middle. I believe also when you pose for a picture, you can take off your mask. All right, so we're going to start with the graduate students. And I'm going to invite COM Department Chair, Dr. Sri Josephson, and standing in for our Master of Professional Communication Graduate Program Director, Dr. Sarah Steimel, Dr. Ann Bialois, to the front. And I will invite the Masters of Professional Communication graduates to the front for hooding.
Bethany Rasmussen.
Natalie Hales.
Anna Auger.
Alexandra Zubar.
Mitchell Whitfield.
For posterity. Nikki Tonks.
Camille Bone.
Shauna Lund.
Taylor Washburn.
Emily Holtz.
I would next like to invite Dr. Hal Krimmel, Department Chair of English, and Master of Arts in English Graduate Program Director, Dr. David Hartwig, to the front. And I'd like to invite the Master of Arts in English graduates to the front for their hooding.
Go ahead. Aaron Guy.
Francia Henriquez Benson.
Hannah Jobber.
Kelly Lemons.
Nicole Brown. Okay, go ahead, yes. Sherilyn Furman.
That's it, right? This is an undergraduate.
All
All right, everyone, it's time for undergraduates. We're no longer undergraduates, but for folks who are getting their bachelor's and their associate's degrees today. Again, we'll go to the side and come across and hand your names to folks on either side.
Samuel Ryan Gates. Amy Davis.
Kayla Kaiser.
Garrison Bergener.
Elizabeth Clayton.
Christopher Himmer.
Justin Keith.
Emily Grubb.
Dugan Brunker.
Sloan Love.
Elise Anderson.
Kirsten King.
Ellie Gord.
Kirsten Cragen.
Sean Benyon.
Leah Hickinbotham.
Jenny Ann Zamora.
Brooklyn Kilgore.
Courtney Richards.
Benjamin Favero.
Matt Mitchell.
Brendan Tomlinson.
Ryan Perry Ross.
Ethan Bosshart.
Joshua Miller.
Jonathan Lucas.
Joshua White.
Jeremiah LaFazia.
Stephen Tenrero.
Jasmine Hernandez.
Nathaniel Dusnub.
Casey Black.
Sean Topham.
Ronnie Lloyd.
Alicia Condrick.
Faith Nolan.
Gisela Lopez Alonso.
Kelsey Santee.
Caitlin Simmons.
Megan Flitton.
Brittany Dawson.
Dia Giokas.
Braylee Pace.
Ellie Robinson.
Carlos Pardo.
Samantha Allen.
Connor Steed.
Akira Christofferson.
Aiden James.
Olivia Lewis.
Audrey Gowans.
Rebecca Bowman.
Zachary Bartlomay.
Grayson Moyes.
Tyson Pace.
Jacqueline Wuki.
Fernando Navarez.
Chelsea Schumann.
Sarah Hecking.
McKenna Montgomery.
Pedro Martinez Nahara.
Shane Jolin.
Shannon Stevens.
Hannah Neal.
Olivia Bailey.
Alyssa Velasquez.
Robin Reed.
Gabriella Swap.
Caitlin Archuleta.
Chia Li Cho.
Brittany Hansey.
Ben Fernie.
Brianna George.
Tobin Barnes.
Katie Vigil.
Hannah Litster.
Tori Montag.
Callie Oyama.
Marley Porter.
Carolee Wallentine.
Ambry Miller.
Veronica Jorgensen.
Jaeger Schulke.
Itzel Puga.
Kaylee Wynn.
Kaya Waite.
Emily Compass.
Marta Bennett.
Cassidy Elmer.
Ashley McKnight.
Bailey Cascadden.
Karen Snar.
Whitney Stoddard.
Lacey Benson.
Taylor Campbell.
Kelsey Ferrin.
Savannah Jones.
Caitlin Shaw.
Jessica Haro.
Grace Cheney.
Hannah Hoffman.
Brooklyn Bell.
Trevor Burke.
Arturo Mija.
Riley Nichols.
McKenna Osmond.
Daniel Wright Jr.
Spencer Lunt.
Nicholas Graham.
Jacelyn Gray.
Brianna Brewer.
Carla Diaz Santos.
Ginger Udink.
Zachary Bliss.
Crystal Akili.
Madison Johnson.
Rebecca McCroby.
Ellie Fochman.
Abby Mitchell.
Vanessa Parkin.
Shayla Ryan.
Denise Call.
Alora Witherspoon.
Jonathan Cook.
Tyler Dingman.
Alexandra Rickards.
Hannah Terry.
Danielle Killian.
Aubrey Eckhart.
Yuinta Arroyo.
Megan Nolan.
Brent Redford.
Emily Perales.
Melissa Simmons.
Saxon Duncan.
Mitchell Cahey.
Jenny Goff.
Soraya Jerome.
Izzy Fernandez.
Natalie Zog.
Georgia Pardon.
Kyle Larson.
Kayla Dreyer.
Tanya Matson.
Alexandria Fairclough.
Hold on, Shaylee, hold on.
Jonathan Chantry.
Shaylee Stevens.
Alexandria Gerritsen.
Amy Torman.
Mary Peterson.
William Griffith.
Kieran Lockwood.
Maya Moffat.
Maria Vasquez.
Gabriella Gray.
William Clark.
Stephanie Saros.
Michelle Broderick. Cameron Jackson. Emily Rupp. Larissa Neuenschwander. Peyton Davis. Molly Dallimore. Brigitte Broadbent. McKenna Tedrick. Kimberly Smith. Ingrid Aseguera. Jordan Martineau. Clayton Wynn. Jaron Rock.
Now I would like to conclude today's convocation with the ceremonial turning of the tassel. Graduations are steeped in history and tradition, and the turning of the tassel is a symbolic representation of your transition from candidate to graduate. May I please ask all of our graduates to stand. Graduates, please move your tassel from the right side of your cap to the left. Woo! Parents, Guests, administration, faculty, and staff, it is my honor to present Weber State University's Lindquist College of Arts and Humanities graduating class of 2021. Before we adjourn from today's convocation, I'd like to thank the Department of Performing Arts music faculty member, Sam Bryson, and the student members of the WSU Marching Band playing on the steel pan drums. We appreciate that you could be with us today in this celebration. To our graduates, faculty, staff, students, family, and friends, and our esteemed guests, thank you so much for joining us today. Congratulations.